The trade deadline is on Thursday. So tonight we're going to do a trade deadline preview. And then we're going to preview tomorrow night's game in Brooklyn against the Knicks. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Wizards Daily Newsletter, a one-stop shop for the ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. And start your day with all new free Locked On Wizards newsletter. Tonight's episode is sponsored by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. All right, everybody, like I said, a lot to talk about tonight. Tonight is the 2025 NBA trade deadline preview for the Washington Wizards. So we're going to look at all the players that are presumed to be on the trade block and a few wild cards here and there, what their value is and what are some realistic deals. Because, like I said, there's a deal that is pretty realistic right now, and we about a couple players we already talked about. So we're going to get in that. We're going to do a preview for tomorrow night's game versus the Brooklyn Nets, and then we're going to get into comments. So I decided to go live tonight, kind of wanted to chop it up with you guys. And like I said, preview, getting ready to ramp it up. The NBA trade deadline is on Thursday, and it expires at 3 p.m. So we will be going live at 3 p.m. or around 3:30 to kind of go over what happens at the deadline or what has not happened. So let's get into it. And the first person we're going to talk about tonight is Kyle Kuzma. And there is a report that the Milwaukee Bucks and the Washington Wizards are in talks for a swap of Kyle Kuzma and Chris Middleton. So grant me 1 second. So I'm going to pull this article up for everybody because there's some real noise of this. So this is true. Evan Siddery and it's practically saying that the Washington Wizards are willing to swap Kyle Kuzma for Chris Middleton, including their 2029 first round pick. Now, we all know that for a team like the Wizards who are in second year of their rebuild, draft picks are a premium. Draft picks are young prospects. Draft picks become young prospects. So it's kind of what it's saying, right? But this front office values draft picks. Now, if you look at all the players that we've talked about before, Jonas Valanciunas, Malcolm Brogdon, Kyle Kuzma, their trade value has gone down. Now, in the case of Jonas Valanciunas, their trade value is limited. Now, yes, he's been very productive, but age 32, very affordable contract, but at age 32, certain factors where he could fit or couldn't fit, especially with a team that's looking to push and transition, he may not be a good fit. And so, like I said, I've always believed that the best case scenario to get a first round pick in this year's trade deadline was to pick up a bad salary, a bad contract. Chris Middleton is that bad contract. So, like I said, a swap of Kyle Kuzma and Chris Middleton, I think, would be a really, really good trade. So, we're going to take a look at Chris Middleton's contract real quick because he has a player option for next year. So, it would potentially be a 2-year contract. But as we know, Kyle Kuzma has 3 years left on his deal. So, let's take a look at Chris Middleton real quick, y'all. Give me a second. Pull up the payroll for the Bucks. All right, and they still got the Wizards. Lord have mercy. Give me a second. But like I said, he will have a player option. So you're looking at a 2-year contract because, again, he's in decline, to be honest with you. So he's probably going to enact that. So looking at this contract real quick, he's age 32. So this season he makes $31 million, and next year he has a player option for 33.2. So with him, probably 33 at the time, he's probably enacted that player option. But here's the thing. After the year after his contract comes off the books, then Bilal Coulibaly is up for that extension. So, Chris Middleton would not be the only contract that'd be coming off the books. Jordan Poole, a lot of decisions to make as far as what his fit is long term past the next couple of years. Definitely think he's going to stick around for the next couple of years. But after that third year, Bilal comes up for that extension. So a lot of decisions need to be made. So Chris Middleton, again, even with the player option, he's not going to hold this franchise down long term. I mean, you're looking at $64.2 million. So over the course of 2 years now, he's not going to be a feature piece in the offense. Where does he fit? That's the question. Where would he fit potentially? Well, I mean, probably looking at Bilal the 2, you're probably looking at Chris Middleton. Really, Chris Middleton can play the 4, but I would like to see Justin Shimpney be in that role. So if Kyle Kuzma is moved for Chris Middleton, you're probably looking at Chris Middleton being that wing because he's still a good defender. He's in decline. He's getting older, but he's still a good defender. He can still stretch the floor. Probably looking at Bilal the 2, JP13 at the 1. But I would like to see either Keyshawn George or Justin Shimpney be in that at the power forward position because Marvin Bagley III is still hurt. So I think those are the best 2 options if you want to see who can plug and play, who is really the long-term answer at power forward. Whether it's a starter or as a reserve. So Like I said, Kyle Kuzma, we know what his contract situation is. I mean, he has a very team-friendly contract, and that's going to be very attractive to teams like Milwaukee because Milwaukee wants to add another scorer. And with Kyle Kuzma, what does Milwaukee get out of this deal? Well, they get a guy who doesn't need to be the guy. He's not going to be the first fiddle like he is here in DC. He doesn't have to shoulder most of the offensive load. So you got Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard. So you'll be the third guy, and I think that would be a really good spot for Kyle Kuzma because he can just focus on scoring, not so much on facilitating and getting other people involved like he is in DC. He has to kind of be a facilitator and a scorer. In Milwaukee, you got Dame. He's going to be that guy running point. And with Giannis, he's going to be the star of the show as far as being the number one option in Milwaukee. So he can kind of do his thing, stretch the floor. So he, like I said, a lot of pressure is off of Kuz. Here in DC, he's the number two option. Both him and Jordan Poole kind of switch from game to game, but he would not be that number one option in Milwaukee. So Milwaukee is able to add that score to kind of mesh with what they would have over there because Milwaukee's got a nice squad. But the question is, do you see Bobby Portis getting moved? And we'll see. He's another guy who's being mentioned. So, but getting back to Chris Middleton and his fit in DC, I think he fits because we're not going to be tied down long term. I know a lot of people have been kind of hesitant to like this move where they're like, well, why would we want to take on that money? But here's the thing. We're not going to be good the rest of the season. You know that. This team's going to get younger, especially if we move on from the veterans we want to move on from, right? So, this team's going to get younger. They're not going to be good. Next year, probably not going to be much better, right? So he's not going to tie us down long term. Now, you do want to see progression from Bilal, and that's why the year after that, his rookie extension comes in, and look, to me, he has earned that. Nothing's given. He's got to earn it, and definitely going into next year, you want to see Bilal take that next step. Definitely kicking in high gear, man. This year we thought he was going to break out. He definitely needs to break out in year 3, in my opinion, because so like I said, and then the year after that again is that extension. So, like I said, the next couple of years are very important as far as his development. So, again, it says again, I'm really I'm going off of my research, guys, and going off the article from David Aldridge and Josh Robbins off the Athletic. So definitely, if you guys have the time, definitely look at the article on the Athletic that they put out today through David Aldridge and Josh Robbins because it goes over the trade deadline. So I'm basing off of that and off of a lot of the work I put in today getting ready for the show. So like I said, the fits really they have in the article for Kyle Kuzma, the Lakers. I think that ship has sailed. The Kings, I think that ship has sailed. And so I think the Bucks, I think that move will happen. If I'm going to put money on it, I think the move will happen. I think Chris Middleton is going to be a Wizard. And like I said, I think it's a good move. You get a draft pick, 2029 first round pick. Like I said, you get draft capital. I still think we're going to move on from Jonas Valanciunas, but we're going to look at Jonas in a minute. So like I said, as far as Kuz, why do you move him? Do you have to move Kuz? No, you don't. But the writing's on the wall. Not only as far as where he is in the picking order, I think as far as scoring option, he's 2. Jordan Poole is taking the lead as being that guy. Bilal's ready to break out. But I'll say this, while I do expect the move to happen between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Washington Wizards, if in the case it falls true and he stays in DC, I think the last game gave us an indication that Bilal could probably get his if he stays. Now, a lot of people, I know, guys, a lot of people will have a fit if he stayed, but I think we all know that there is a possibility he could stay. While I do think there's traction between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Washington Wizards as far as a potential deal, and I think it would be again a really good deal for the Wizards, and for the Bucks respectively. But it's not to say he could stay because, like I said, I mean, as far as trade value, it has dipped. His production has gone from 22.2 million points per game to around 15.2 the last time I checked. So there has been a dip in production. Obviously, you're looking at the injuries and then the body language. I think that he, like I said, he's asked out. He's kind of behind the scenes. Like I said, that was an exclusive as far as Locked On Wizards, but he has to the organization asked out. So I mean, I think they feel compelled that they have to move him at this point. I think that it is what it is. You want to see Bilal Coulibaly be that second guy. See if he can step up and be that second option. Now, who emerges after that? You're looking at Alex Hart. We've seen him get better. He needs to be ready to step it up a lot sooner than later, right? And then other people. But like I said, with Chris Middleton, he does chip in with the points. Like I said, he's definitely in decline. He's not the prime Chris Middleton from the finals appearance and when the Bucks were really, really in the, as a collective group doing well. He's definitely in decline of year, age 32. So, but he's still going to be able to stretch the floor, shoot the 3-point shot, and still be very active in the defensive end. And like I said, I think this is our best chance to get a first-round pick. So we got other people to look at. Jonas Valanciunas. We're going to talk about Jonas Valanciunas, Malcolm Brogdon, Jordan Poole. Well, I don't think he's going to be dealt. Look, when you play better, you get more interest in the trade market. So what is the potential he could get moved? Because Denver did have some interest about 2 to 3 weeks ago. So we'll see if they still do. But before we get into all that, guys, and the preview for tomorrow night's game versus the Brooklyn Nets, tonight's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Looking for tickets to your next big event, whether it's a concert, a comedy show, or a sports game? Find the right ticket at the right price can be a headache. But with Gametime Picks, it's never been easier, y'all. Let me tell you how it works. With Gametime Picks, the app does all the hard work for you. It curates the best deals, so you don't have to waste time searching through endless ticket listings. And like I said, guys, I go to events all the time. I went to my first concert last year, go to games all the time. So I definitely recommend Gametime, man, because again, you know where your seat is. So you know the view, if you're getting your money's worth. And it's just, they go through all the bad deals. They find the best deals for the price. So you definitely getting your value. So don't take my word for it. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. And again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, everybody, let's get back into this preview. So next on the list is Jonas Valanciunas, and we know as far as potential fits, I definitely agree with the article on the Athletic, man, where they said the Denver Nuggets is intriguing because he could be a backup to Jokic. The Clippers, they just let go of Mo Bamba, so there could be a fit there. The Lakers, obviously, and the Knicks. Mitchell Robinson is on the trade block. He is obviously injured, but that could come with that pick that we have relegated to the Knicks, man. So there could be some upside there. But Jonas Valanciunas, should the Wizards move? Yeah, I would think so. And the reason for that is not so much because of Jonas Valanciunas. Obviously, he's been very, very productive. I love his fit on the team. Really funny guy, great personality. I mean, just overall really good guy. But the thing is this: the timeline, man. We're rebuilding the team. And 2, Tristan Vucevic. I think you need to see what you have in Tristan Vucevic. A 7-foot rim protector. He spread the floor. I mean, stretch the floor. He can shoot a 3-point shot. Very athletic. I mean, I think you give him a chance in the second half of the season because again, we're going to be a younger team, and you have to see what you have in this team. Who's part of the future? I mean, we all know who the prime core is. Bilal Coulibaly, Alex Sarr, Bob Carrington, and Keyshawn George. But you have to see what you have in Tristan Vucevic, because if you hit on Vucevic, that shows you that there is progress. That this new front office is definitely hitting they're on the money, man. And when it comes to talent evaluation, because we know that Ernie Grunfeld could not draft to save his life, and Tommy Shepard was just a clone of Ernie. And so I do believe that Will Dawkins is not only an upgrade, he's probably been the best GM we've had since Wes Unseld. I'm just being real, man. And while he has made his mistakes to a certain degree, Tyus Jones, KP, I think there was a likelihood that the results that happened was going to happen. But the whole Kyle Kuzma thing, yeah, but like I said, that would probably be your first chink in the armor as far as the front office. But I think that, they're going to definitely find the best move. And again, that is definitely the Chris Middleton move. Getting into Jonas, like I said, he's been productive with his ability to, play with his chip on the shoulder, the toughness, his ability to score in the paint with his hook shots, his mid range. He can definitely hit the 3-point shot. Not a sniper per se, but he's a guy who is definitely productive. Whether he's spot starting, or coming off the second unit, he definitely has value. So, I mean, look at the team. What team do I think has a leg up on it? Like I said, I don't know, because I think all 4 of these teams, and even the Lakers, we know that now they made the move for Luka Doncic. But I think they have enough depth there. So bringing in, that filling in the void at power forward would not be an issue. I mean, you're probably looking at Rui with AD, and then you need that center. So I think that, Valanciunas is that center that the Lakers need. New York, Mitch Robinson bringing him on, even though he's injured. But again, a bad contract comes with that pick that has protections that the Knicks hold from us. We can go ahead and just take that pick back, and, all is well. I mean, and like I said, the Nuggets as a backup and the Clippers fit. So all of them I can see happening. Now, again, kind of like Kyle Kuzma, right? Is there a possibility that he can stay? Absolutely. He's a guy who likes what they're doing. He's bought in. But I think that, again, Rashawn Holmes, if you don't move Valanciunas, you move Rashawn Holmes, because you have to see what you have as far as Tristan Vucevic, as being that potential backup center of the future. Because Alex Sarr, to me, is the future at the center position in DC. But you have to see what you have in Vucevic. So, to me, you move either Rashawn Holmes or Jonas Valanciunas. And the fact that he can stretch the floor, the fact that he can hit the mid-range and the 3-point shot gives him a lot more value than Rashawn Holmes. Rashawn Holmes is a dog. He's a guy who's very active, goes in there and he plays, again, just like Valanciunas, plays with a chip on the shoulder, but very limited offensively. While he's, for rebounds, he just dropped 10 rebounds the other night. He can definitely get in there and get boards, but like you said, I would like to see what Vuk can do, man, because he fits the mold of the modern-day center, which we know the NBA is a perimeter driven league. So, what kind of package would I return in front? When the Lakers, they still have, I believe they only traded one of their second round picks in 2025. So, you could be looking at, if it's a Lakers deal, Gabe Vincent in second round pick, and you take that. Gabe Vincent, could be a buyout candidate, and he could, because we do have Jared Butler, we do have Bub as far as the second unit, and then Jordan Poole running points. So, Gabe Vincent would probably want to be on a contending team down the stretch and probably buyout. So, and if not, we'll see. I mean, definitely can be a good thing. But looking at matching the salaries, you're looking at Gabe Vincent. I don't see anybody else in the roster they would be willing to move. Now that they moved on from AD to Dallas. So let's move on, guys. So real quick for Jonas Valanciunas, I'm probably expecting second round pick or two, and probably a player to match salaries. So and right, it says that in mid-January, the Athletics, James Edwards III conducted a hypothetical trade in which the Knicks would send Mitchell Robinson and two 2026 second round picks to Washington for Jonas Valanciunas. So that's another good trade. Can I add to the Gabe Vincent in 2025 second round pick from the Lakers? You could get a couple seconds if you can't coerce that first round pick for the Knicks and Mitch Robinson. So again, you're probably looking at, best case scenario is getting that first round pick from the Knicks. And that's very best case scenario, but you're probably looking at those two second round picks in 2026. So moving on, guys, real quick, a wild card. But before we get into the wild card or two, Malcolm Brogdon. Now, what are some potential fits? The Athletic has Sacramento Kings, but and the Cleveland Cavs. Me personally, just looking through prospective teams for Malcolm Brogdon, I think the Cavs are the best fit. Because the biggest thing with Brogdon is what? Availability is your best ability. He's been hurt. So, but he is an inspiring contract. So the Cavs could look at him as a backup point guard to Darius Garland. And look, they have other options. So if he goes down with injury, they very well could fill that void as far as the point guard in the second unit. But he will be valuable in a team like Cleveland because he's very savvy. He's got that veteran mindset. He knows how to run the point. Not a guy who's going to speed past most people, but he uses footwork, finesse. So he's a guy who's definitely has high basketball IQ. To me, the Cavs, that to me is the best fit. That is if they're willing to take on, $22.5 million. So, obviously he doesn't fit here long term, but it's the injury history. It's the injuries that are the biggest knock against Brogdon. But when he plays, when he's available, he's productive. So, what kind of move I'm looking at, and the move that I've kind of advocated a few times, and I've seen around the internet as far as from other analysts is Isaac Okoro and Georges Niang. Let's see, for Brogdon. So Okoro is very, very interesting because while he's got a much improved 3-point shot, he's a defender. He fits what the Wizards are trying to do long term. So I'm not against Isaac Okoro, man. So let's go ahead and pull up their salaries real quick for the Cavs because Okoro I'm not against. So give me a second, guys, because it won't give me the Cavs. I am on Fanspo, so there we go. Cleveland Cavaliers. Fanspo, get my money's worth today. So, all right. So, looking at the payroll situation for the Cavaliers. All right. So, Niang will be on a 2-year contract, making $8.5 million this year and $8.2 next year. So, he's a depth piece. He can definitely provide depth on a team. Like I said, he's not going to tie us down long term. So, I'm not against Niang. But to me, looking at if I could find this brother, they are hiding him from me. Where can I not find Okoro, man? All right, there we go. Hiding from me. So Okoro this year is making 10.1, and he has 2 years after this deal. So he was making 11 million after that, and 11.8. And then, like I said, Okoro could play. He's a nice young prospect, man. He can play. And if you look at the age, he's only, and they, like I said, they mess with me today. They don't even put his brother's age up there. So 24. So he's only 24 years old. So that's not a bad move, in my opinion. Okoro is a move that I would definitely entertain because he fits what the Wizards are trying to do, become a better defensive team, and definitely can stretch the floor. So he fits both biggest needs for the Wizards, and he has some toughness because he's a good defender. So Okoro and Georges Niang, I'm not against that. Because like I said, in other deals, you begin draft capital, second round picks from Valanciunas, and for Kuzma, you probably looking at a first round pick if you do that deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. So to me, it's not a bad deal, man. I definitely like that deal, to be honest with you, for Malcolm Brogdon. I think that's a win. That's a win-win for both sides. All right, so guys, we're going to get into Jordan Poole and Corey Kispert. Would they be dealt at the deadline? I don't believe so, but you can never say never in the business of the NBA. And then we're going to get in the preview for tomorrow night's game. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by BetterHelp, baby. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. What are some of your relationship green flags? We often hear about red flags, right? We should avoid. But what if we focus more on identifying the positive signs in our relationships, those green flags? If you're not sure what they look like, therapy can help you identify them, actively practice them, and even embody that green flag energy yourself. Whether you're dating, married, or building a relationship, or just working on yourself, therapy can help you form relationships that love you back, man. And like I said, guys, I'm a big advocate of therapy. I'm a big advocate of talking to somebody, man, because sometimes you want to figure out what your relationship is with yourself. And for somebody who personally has dealt with identification issues and working on myself most of my life, I could definitely recommend a service like BetterHelp, man, because like I said, it's not only about relationships with others. Sometimes you just want to form a better relationship with yourself. So look, discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. All right, everybody, let's get back into this thing. So we're gonna go over a couple wild cards, man. Number one, real quick. We're gonna do it real quick. And then get in. Well, I guess we'll talk about a few of my 3 keys of victory real quick with the Nets, and then we're gonna in some comments tonight because I definitely appreciate you guys rocking with me. It's gonna be a busy week for us, man. So definitely appreciate you guys taking the time to rock with your boy tonight. Corey Kispert. Now, why would the Wizards trade this guy? Well, if you look at the situation with Denny Avdia, why did they trade him? So, obviously he's linked to Tommy Shepard. And right now they have potential fits, not only on the athletic, but from what I've gathered, the Houston Rockets, the Orlando Magic, and the San Antonio Spurs. And, why would the Wizards trade him? Well, I guess depends on what other teams are offering. If they offer them the deal is too good to give up, then you probably make that move. I'm a big fan of Corey Kispert. I think that he's a good character guy, high basketball IQ. Definitely that sniper. He has an ability that we don't see a lot on this team or league wide, which is moving without the basketball. Better ball handling. The defense is probably the biggest knock against him. While he's shown a lot more energy, he's far from ever being a lockdown defender. So there's probably the one big, knock against Kispert. But to me, very productive player, high basketball IQ, and high character locker room guy. So he will fit on most teams in the league because he's a good character guy. So I can see him on the Spurs. Especially if depends on what kind of moves they want to make this year. Because look, De'Aaron Fox is a good move for them long term, but maybe they want to make a move for the playoffs. So let's pull up the standings real quick for where San Antonio is. So bear with me, guys. All right, so looking at the Western Conference, San Antonio is. Ooh, I need one of my glasses, man. Where is San Antonio? All right, there we go. 12th. So they're 21 and 26. So probably looking at playing at the 12th seed. So they're about 3 games behind the Warriors, and the Suns for the 10th seed in the play-in. So, and then the Kings also at 25 and 24. So maybe they add a piece for a play-in, because the play-in would be a positive sign for a team like the San Antonio Spurs. Especially if because you gotta build a winning product around Wemby and De'Aaron Fox, because you still have to lock both of these guys long term at some point, man. So it would behoove them to make this to make it a better team. So Orlando, yeah, I wouldn't want to move him in division. I mean, in the Rockets again, I think he fits. So what could you get for Kispert? Well, that's the biggest thing, because other team kind of look at it, Detroit. I think he could be a really good fit in Detroit. So could you get a pick? Yeah, I think. If you could get the package you got for Denny, you could probably finesse a first-round pick for Corey Kispert. I mean, he's valuable. He's a sniper. That's by IQ, slashing, cutting to the basket. Many factors why, could they finesse a first-round pick? Yes, but not this year. I think next year. Definitely want to give Kispert a lot and more extended look to see if he can get back on track and really be that Kispert from last year. Really ramp it up in the second half and bring his value up. And I think you could get a first-round pick for him in the offseason if they indeed want to move him. I like Kispert. Good character guy. Would love him here long-term, but I do understand the business of not only the NBA, but what Will Dawkins and Michael Winger are trying to do in the 202. All right. So the last one on the list, guys, Jordan Poole. Now, do I see him being moved? No. I see him sticking around for at least the next couple of years, man. The third year of his deal, I think things will get interesting as far as, him being here long term. Will they pay him and still give Bilal that extension? But we'll deal with that problem in 3 years. All right. Jordan Poole. Much improved play this year, playing at all-star level. Does he have interest? Absolutely. Teams are going to have interest, and teams do have interest. So fits, I can't really have a fit. The Athletic doesn't have a fit. And when I look at prospective fits on the internet and through other platforms, Denver was, because right now, I think that a lot of teams want to see what he can build over the course of more than one season. So the Denver, you can see that the attraction to Denver, or Denver has to Jordan Poole, because he would do well on a contending team. Definitely an electric microwave scorer of the second unit, and if need be, started whether it's two guard or point guard. But I think on a contender, you're probably looking at 6-man like he was in Golden State. That's the best fit for him because, on a contender. Now, obviously here he's running the point, and that's the best situation for him here. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I don't see him being moved, and it's really tough to say potential fits outside of Denver and what we could get for Jordan Poole. But I think in 2 years, if he continues to play at an all-star level and continue to get better year in and year out, you could get multiple first-round picks if he continues the trajectory he's going, in my humble opinion. So I think it behooves to hold on to him and continue to not only build his confidence up, but continue to build that value up. But like I say, he could be a long-term piece. So he's one of those gray area guys like Corey Kispert, where I would love him to be here long-term, but then understanding the business of the NBA and what the Wizards are trying to do, I would not be surprised either if they decide to move him. But I think that you definitely hold on to Jordan Poole. So that is the trade deadline preview, guys. You definitely get in the comment section, whether in the chat or after the video. Let me know, do you agree or disagree? And what other moves would you like to see? So definitely let your boy know. So again, appreciate you guys, man, taking time out of night. So we're going to get into a real quick preview for tomorrow night, man, because I definitely think it is a winnable game. So let me go ahead and pull up tomorrow night, everybody. The internet is like mess with me today. All right, so here we go. So, all right, everybody. Again, tomorrow night, 7:30 at Brooklyn. Wednesday night, so we will be going live. So it's at 7:30. So you're looking at about 9 o'clock. So we're probably going to be going live 9 o'clock. So definitely rock with us over here, Locked On Wizards, at 9 o'clock to recap tomorrow night's game. So real quick, 7:30 tip-off. Wizards are coming in with an 8-41 record. The Nets 16-33. They are 13th in the East. We are 15th in the East. I want to say they kind of not much better than we are, but last time I said that to a team, their fans had a meltdown. So let's just say they're slightly better, okay? Just for the sake of argument. So looking at the injury list real quick, Saddiq Bey is going to be out. Marvin Bagley still out with a knee injury, and Alex Sarr has been down with that ankle injury. So to me, from what I've gathered, it is a high ankle sprain. So they're tricky. I've dealt with them personally. Big reason why I don't play ball anymore, other than being fat. But ankles injuries, man, that's what hampered me, man. So I haven't played ball since probably the time I was in the military, really competitively, because I've had ankle injuries. So I definitely get it. But looking at Brooklyn, Cam Thomas is out, so that's definitely a leg up for the Wizards, man, because Cam Thomas is a very ISO heavy guy, but he has always put up good numbers on the Washington Wizards, man. So 3 keys to victory. I'm not going to say 3 keys to victory, man. Let's keep it a little interesting tonight. 3 matchups I want to see. So let's pull up their depth chart. We'll see real quick and see what kind of matchups I want to see tomorrow night. Now, D'Angelo Russell at point. Now, looking at their starting 5, Cam Johnson is still out because, the trade deadline, so they're going to keep him healthy. Noah Clowney is out. Claxton and Valanciunas. I think this is definitely a matchup I want to see. And Deron Sharp versus Rashawn Holmes. I think this is a really winnable situation for the Paint. So Nick Claxton versus Valanciunas and Deron Sharp on the second unit versus Rashawn Holmes. I think that Valanciunas and Rashawn Holmes both dogs, man. Toughness. And I think that the matchup favors them. So the second matchup I'm going to look at is Jordan Poole and D'Angelo Russell. I definitely want to see, JP13 put some work on D'Angelo Russell. Jordan Poole is a better defensive player than he was last year. We got to give him his flowers on that. But I think that when you really want to measure how good you and what your progress is defensively, is trying to shut down a guy like D'Angelo Russell, because we know that he's a guy who's definitely going to get his shots up. All right, the third matchup I'm going to look at is the second unit. They got Ben Simmons out. He's always out, so that's not really a surprise. But Zaire Williams, Tyrese Martin, Jalen Wilson, and Deron Sharp, I think we have the better of the second unit, especially with the young guys. I think Keyshawn George, I think Jared Butler, I think Corey Kispert are better. I think so. That's a matchup I think we need to exploit. The second unit, I definitely will see a good performance by Corey Kispert. And Keyshawn George is probably starting. So the second unit, you're probably looking, Jared Butler, I think is a good opportunity for him on the second unit. So this is the matchup that the Wizards need to exploit if we want this 3-game winning streak. We have to beat on the second unit. But like I said, those are the 3 matchups I want to see for tomorrow night's game. So again, 7:30. And I said 7:30 tip also is about 2.5 hours. So 10 o'clock, guys. My bad. 10 o'clock. We're going live at 10, not 9:30. All right, guys. Let's get into comments. Like I said, appreciate everybody rolling with your boy tonight. Going through the trade deadline preview. Lot of stuff happening this week. So we're we're going to get through the comments real quick, and I'm going to give you guys an itinerary what to expect this week because a lot of content this week, man. Bucket, what's up, man? He says, my prediction going in, I think Kuzma will be the only player moved. Ooh, maybe Kispert. Unfortunately, I think Val is definitely tradable, but might stay. We'll see. Hopefully, we keep JP. I think JP sticks around. I think Corey Kispert sticks around. 50-50 on JV. I think Kuz, they feel compelled to have to move him. And I think Brogdon definitely stays. All right. Stephen Fine, how you doing? It says Greg Finberg, my bad. Shout out to my guy, Greg Finberg, man. A few Wizards trade updates via at Steve B. Hoop. It says Jonas Valanciunas trade is reportedly in the works. Wizards receiving Yusuf Nurkic and Kuzma for Middleton trade is getting close. Yep, yeah, that the word I got, man, from sources, the Kuzma trade is definitely really close. And Valanciunas, let's see, Yusuf Nurkic. Yeah, I mean, he's not a guy. I mean, if you're looking for a rim protector, you're not going to get much any expectations as far as that. But he's a scoring-minded center. So let's bring up his contract real quick. But hey, appreciate you, Steve Fine, man. Definitely appreciate you, man. Or I don't know if it's Steven Fine or is it Greg Finberg. No, either way, appreciate you, man. All right, so let's see. Nurkic. So Nurkic is making $18.1 million this year and 19.3 next year. So I mean, it's not going to hold us down long term, but I mean, I would definitely expect some kind of draft compensation, man, because I mean, is he really an upgrade over Jonas Valanciunas? I don't think so. I mean, you must as well retain Jonas Valanciunas because of the sake of the salary and the fact that, the ages. I mean, he's 29 years old. He probably fits what they're trying to do as far as offensively. He can get down the floor at the stage a lot better than JV can. So I guess system fit would be a reason, but I would definitely expect some kind of draft compensation, to be honest with you. Stuart Flaherty says, the Lakers are calling about JV and Holmes. Yeah, I mean, I've got reports about JV. Now, Holmes, that is intriguing, man, to be honest with you. You got to move on from one of them. Thomas Montgomery, how you doing? It says, any potential Kispert trade would have to happen in the summertime since he signed his extension before training camp. I mean, yes and no. You can make a deal happen. For what I last gathered, they would be, and like I said, I'm spitballing off the top of the brain, but I believe the team trading for him would have to take in $11 million, and we would be saving $7 million, I believe. But so there's a way to make a deal happen, but I think Thomas, I definitely agree with you. I think it's better to trade him in the off season, man, because there's a way to trade him, and if the teams are willing to take on more salary than we would lose, then but I think he sticks around till at least the offseason. But I definitely agree with you on that. And Vallis says Lakers apparently said they're planning on making a center update in the summertime. I don't think the Lakers really know what they want to do. Bucket Getter says it's swap JV for Nurkic. Hopefully we get a pick. Yep. I know we would get picks for Middleton. Yeah, that first round pick, I think, like I said, it's a good move to make, man. Thomas Montgomery, how you doing? Again, it says if they get into the Middleton trade, hopefully they get back AJ Johnson or Marshawn Beauchamp. I'm with you, man. I like Beauchamp. Beauchamp is a nice prospect, man. So, like I said, maybe they add another player, but I think that they're looking more so of a swap evenly just for Middleton and Kispert because we wouldn't take on any more salary because Kuzma's salary is less than what Middleton makes, man. So we would to make the deals, and I think they're willing to do that. So let's see. Thomas Montgomery also says that just the best JV trade is to call New York and see if they can renounce the projected trade for 2026 and get Mitchell Robinson. I like that one too, man. You don't want to fall next year to a 4th or 5th and drop past 8. Yeah, good point. Good point, man. Good point. So, I would definitely make that phone call too, man. Bucket Getter says, I love AJ. I do as well. Yeah, man. AJ, getting back to AJ Johnson and Marjan Beauchamp. I like both of them. Domar Venning says, not related, but I've noticed the coaches on the bench of other teams. There are a lot of ex-NBA coaches on teams. We don't have any ex-NBA coaches, or do we? That is glaring to me. I don't know. I don't believe so. There's no I guess you meant head coaches. Yeah, we don't have any former head coaches. I know that Weston Still went to Chicago. So yes, that's a good point. Derek says Cavs have Ty Jerome. They don't need Brogdon. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point too. But Ty Jerome is also a combo guard, so you can play the two. And like I said, I think that Brogdon is a slight upgrade over Ty Jerome. But with the injury concerns that Brogdon has, Ty Jerome would be a good depth piece that can compensate for not having Brogdon. So I'm with you. I'm actually a big fan of Tyler Jerome. I think he could definitely ball, man. Derek also says Orlando can use more point guard help, though. I mean, yeah, they got an abundance of guards over there. So, I mean, maybe we take on a guard, but I don't want to move anybody to our in division guys because Orlando is an up and coming team, and that will be a team that we're looking to get through in our aspirations to make that next step once we get to the point where we are a playoff hopeful team. So I don't want to go against Kispert when they're good, when we're good and they're good, man. I mean, you do what you got to do. You know, I mean, that's the business of the NBA, but I mean, if you can help it, and Derek also says we should try for Jabari Smith Jr. I like Jabari Smith Jr., man. I like him. And like I said, I think he fits here, especially at power forward, man. So, but you know, to me, when you look at the fits that we looked at, then you're probably looking at Kispert, man, going to Houston. Now, again, Houston, if you're looking at it, like I said, I'm murky on it. I had to pick it up and I'll put it up on YouTube, but I was just looking at it before to show that for a Kispert trade, man, you would have to take on salary. So let me go ahead and see if I can pull this up real quick. I'm gonna go through the comments, but let me see if I can pull it up for you guys to give you a accurate picture of what I'm talking about. Let's see. Derek says AJ or Bucket Getter says AJ Johnson would be so tough. Absolutely. So, all right, guys, real quick. To give you guys kind of let you know what I'm talking about as far as Corey Kispert. So, yes, his extension kicks in next year, but you can move him if you want to. So let me go ahead and see. And it says right here in the article, it says because Kispert's rookie skills contract extension hasn't kicked in yet, any trade involving him before July 1st would be subject to a poison pill provision. Under the provision, the team that traded for Kispert now would have to count his salary on his books for $11.9 million. And for the Wizards, though, it would only count for $5.7 million. So, like I said, a team like Houston, they will probably have no problem taking on that move. So, look, who knows, man? Who knows? You know, could Houston make a move for him? Like I said, if the deal's good enough, you make that move. So, I think that I definitely want to see this front office get, you know, very, very aggressive at the deadline. Let's see. Derek says 2 more days to flip Kuzma and Brogdon. Yes, sir. And like I said, guys, 3:30, I will be going live, and we will have Troy Halliburton on the show also. So we're gonna be double dipping on Friday, on Thursday, man. So, all right, let's see. Poole Bali has an update. Just heard something. Not sure if it's true, but Kuzma and PBJ are heading to Milwaukee for Middleton and JV to Phoenix for Nurkic. So, all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and end it here. I'm gonna do my due diligence, and if the moves went down, I'm gonna turn around and I'm going to come back out live and go over the trades. So, like I said, bear with me. Again, appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you rocking with your boy through the trade deadline preview and tomorrow night's preview. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the show. And if a deal went down, I'm gonna be live back on here going over the trade. So hail to the Wizards and peace.